Good morning, friends. It's Dave from Southgate Imaging. So this has been an interesting week. Yesterday was going to be kind of a regular slow day, and I ended up meeting 3 guitar sellers and picked up 3 guitars. So I was weak. Anyway, so I'm working on those, and there'll be some videos coming up about all of them, and working on some setups, and each has some various challenges, so we'll work through those. Anyway, the one I want to talk about today is a new to me, which I picked up yesterday, Yamaha FG 820. So if you've been watching the channel, I'm a big fan of the Yamaha guitars, and the FG 820 is really like a step up in the Yamaha FG lineup. So the FG 800 is probably, FG 800 and FS 800 are probably the best values in the guitar world, easily in my opinion. You're getting a good quality guitar, well built, that plays good and sounds good, that's really more than a beginner guitar, and you're getting it at a beginner guitar price, and these are really even intermediate guitars. You can look at them, they're very good guitars. You have to be a really good player that these are going to hold you back, really. So that's what they are. So the FG 820 is kind of interesting. So it has some upgrades over the regular FG 800. So I'll walk you through those. Probably the most obvious is the plastic binding. So the fretboard's bound, the body's bound, and the back of the body's bound, the front and back. So it's full binding. It's not bound in the neck, but essentially full fretboard and body binding. The fingerboard is rosewood and rosewood. The FG 800 actually at one point was, and then they kind of degraded those in the last 5 years to walnut. Walnut probably doesn't wear as good as rosewood, and it doesn't look as good as rosewood. When you condition it, it just doesn't have that deepness, I think, I would say, that rosewood does. So these have the rosewood fingerboard, rosewood bridge. I think the rosette is the same. What else is different? That's probably the main things. The other one is the wood. So this is a nice, it's a laminate mahogany, but it's not like the NATO wood that's on the FG 800. It's it's clearly, it looks much better than the FG 800. So a better job on that. It's upgraded. It probably sounds a little deeper, so you're going to get that. And the neck, I would say, is finished better. Some of the current FG 800s, it almost like has an open poreness to the neck, and they don't feel as smooth. They're not bad. You look at the money you're paying for them, they're not bad, but they're certainly not as smooth. So overall, some nice upgrades to the FG 800. It doesn't take it all the way up in the price point to the next level, which is the LL series. So the LL is Yamaha's luxury line, and the comparable in there is going to be an LL6, which I have, and I'll do a review of those before too long, and a comparison. So this kind of puts this above the FG 800 line, and really it just comes down to what features are important to you. To my mind, when I'm playing it, because this is a bound neck, it actually feels like a slightly wider fretboard than the FG 800, and I don't know if that's really, if you look at their specs online, but I know playability wise it just seems like I got a little bit more room at the nut, or at least the whole fretboard is a little bit wider because of the binding. Maybe it's all in my mind, but I feel that way. The nice thing with the FG 800s and the FG 820s, you got, I think it's 11mm string spacing here, which is quite wide for a guitar in this class, and so there's room for the finger style. It's just finger style works a lot better. So overall, that's the 820s. Let's do some playing, and then we'll talk about the conclusions. So I hope you enjoyed that. The fresh strings are going to make that a lot more crispy, and it will sound better. But that'll give you an idea. With old 80-20 strings, it's still not bad. You could get around, you could go to a jam or whatever with this, and it would be probably just fine. My process is going to be probably allow it to settle into the environment in our home right now, and probably go through and do a little more refined setup in another day or two, and then probably put on some Monels, try those. It's a mahogany back guitar, so it should kind of respond to Monels pretty good. So that's kind of the plan overall. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Love discussing the Yamaha 800 series, 820 series, great guitars. I will have a video coming up of comparing the 820 to the LL6, kind of a nice kind of natural comparison. The LL6 is still a laminate back and side guitar, so that should be interesting. That's coming up. Again, please like, subscribe, let me know what you're thinking about these guitars, and if you have any questions about them, let me know. I've gone through a few of them in my time. Okay, thanks and have a great day.